Welcome everybody, this is Calvenn Starre and you're joining us for another week at Advancement in Leadership, a webinar training series on the book The Disciplined Leader by John Manning. And I'm excited about this one. This is a really great one because it's going to be core. And we're going into chapter 48, believe it or not. It's been 48 chapters, 48 weeks of information. And this one's all about listen to your customers. So before we get started on our webinar series, we always go back and we work on integration. And integration is about taking the information in a different way so that it becomes integrated into your brain so that you can recall the information. I mean, there's no purpose in learning something if you're not going to recall the information and get it integrated into your system. So what we do in the webinar series is we go back 3 weeks and we kind of cover the information to kind of recall it, put it in a different way, context terms, a new understanding, and then develop that information into our brains. And that's the way your brain works. It's about repetition. Repetition is the mother of all skill. So let's get back to it. Chapter 45 was about pick your battles. And for me and for a lot of people, you know, if you find yourself getting sick or worn out at the end of the day or at the end of the week or the month or whatever it is for you in business or in life, you've got to find out what's taking life out of you. And because right now you're fighting a battle that's not working and it's destroying you and it's breaking you down and it's causing you to be tired and grumpy and just going through all this stuff. So this chapter was all about picking your battles because, you know, you've got to win the battles to and ultimately win the war. But a lot of times we get focused on little things that just don't matter. And I've seen that a lot in my life. I know that you probably have seen it a lot in yours. And so what you have to learn to do as a leader is pick the battles that are most important to you. And whether or not that be with the people that you love or the people that you don't love, like, you know, is it really going to make a big difference in your life if you fight somebody for something so petty and so simple rather than putting your energy into creating something? Like, are you going to fight somebody for $1 rather than go out there and create value and make millions of dollars? So it's up to you because, believe it or not, we'll catch ourselves and we will struggle with fighting those battles that are meaningless and pointless, and it's more just out of ego. And so you've got to find out what those battles are that are causing you to lose and destroy parts of your life so that you can start focusing on the bigger battles of, like, you know, self-discipline and getting out there and making things happen and procrastination, all those battles that we need to fight and win. Then we're going to go to chapter 46, which is avoid the gap between good ideas and execution. And this is a key one for a lot of us network marketers out there that are pushing products, is that you've got to have product on hand, because a lot of times when you share something with somebody for the first time, it's a great idea, they love it, they run with it, and then they go home and they get bombarded by people, friends, family, spouses, loved ones, and this good idea that they had heard you share with them and they became really excited about has now lost it because there's a big gap in between actually experiencing the product and then actually getting their own. And so the point of this chapter for me in network marketing is about saying, you know what, make sure that when you share an idea with people or a product with people, that they get on it in their hands so that they can have that gap closed, because it's buyer's remorse, it's all these different things that come up. And, you know, you've got to also look at this in your life where have we lost the enthusiasm and the passion and the inspiration in our lives between a good idea and actually executing it. And so what can you do to also help yourself and your team to really get some of these ideas and get them into execution? So like when you're developing a system or you're putting together a system or you have a system, you don't enroll somebody into your business and wait 2 months for them to start working the system. You've got to get them in and working the system right away so that they close that gap, because that gap will fill itself with information or doubt or, you know, challenges that will knock a lot of your people out of the business within the first couple of days. So that's chapter 46. Now, chapter 47 was avoid the flavor of the month syndrome. And after reading a couple of these chapters, you think this book was written for network marketing, but it wasn't. But, you know, the flavor of the month syndrome is like the new ideas, the new products, the new, companies, the new systems. It's all these different things. And there's always going to be something better. I mean, if you look at technology these days, they've really put the golden standard on what people expect to make improvements on. It's like, at first it was a flip phone, and then it became, just a solid phone, and now it's a touch phone, and now it's a waterproof touch phone, and now it's got the best camera and this and that. It's always something. And if you fall prey to that in your business, you could really struggle with knowing that you have a really great product. And so you've got to sell yourself on the idea that you're providing something more than just your product or your company. It's something that you're creating a value for people. And then that will take away that whole thing of the flavor of the month, because there will always be new companies, there will always be new products, new compensation plans, new this, new that, because that's marketing. That's taking information and trying to make it appealing to the masses. And so what happens is the people, chase every little thing that comes across their table because they think, oh, this is it. And the reason that people are not successful, it's because of this thing of the flavor of the month, because people think it's that thing that is going to make them successful. And they don't realize that it's really their advancement in leadership. It's their focus and their personal development in their own selves. That's what's going to make somebody successful. So let's get into some of the quotes for this chapter 48, which is listen to your customers. First one is by Unknown, really great person. Customers may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And this is true because, a lot of times customers experience things and they feel good about it, and so they have a positive experience. And you can say all the right things or anything like that, and it doesn't matter. If you don't make them feel like they're being heard or that they feel good about it, then it's not going to leave a good taste in their mouth. So, second one is by Derek Sievers. Customer service is the new marketing. And it's true. Everything is so online, and people have become so vocal with social media and Twitter and Facebook because they can hide behind these little, name tags and express themselves. And so, customer service is really about how to manage customers online and offline, because online, if you're with a company that just deletes people's comments and what's not, rather than actually dealing with it, then that's a challenge. And so you've got to look at that and say to yourself, well, I'm going to, I read this book, Gary Vaynerchuk, and it was about the thank you marketing. And it was about just basically a lot of different things, but one of the most important things is that letting other customers see how you handle your current customers is key in business. So when somebody makes a complaint online, you don't just delete them and try and hide them and run them off. You want to address it and see what you can do to work with that customer to get them a resolution. That's what's going to make it powerful for people to go, see, they do care. They're trying to work things out, or they did work things out. Wow, what a great company, what a great product. And so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about customer service as the new marketing. It is your opportunity as an entrepreneur to be out there. And when you have people that are angry or upset with what you've done or your product, you have an opportunity to create something of value by handling that situation in a different way and actually letting people see that you can handle it. It just shows responsibility. It shows maturity. It shows a lot of different things. So let's get into it. You must build loyal relationships with your customers. And loyal relationships, it's just not about providing them with what they need and what they want. It means listening to them and their insights. Customers sometimes will have the most powerful insights and observations because they're the end user, and it's not something that you are typically a part of. I've been part of companies where it was like, I thought, we're known worldwide because I know me, right? And it's not like that. You've got to know that other people are out there that have no idea who and what you are, and so you have to carry yourself in a way that is going to become appealing to the masses. And when I talk about the masses, I'm talking about customers. I'm not talking about what you feel or what other people that you know about your company feel. I'm talking about what does everybody else think and feel and read and how they look at your business. So even though your company may provide a product, but are you really listening to your customers and finding out what it is they really want? Because it will come in handy one day, I promise you. And so when you actually show that you can listen to people and work things out, this is what creates trust in your brand. And when in doubt, of what you think you should be providing. Ask your customers what they think. He gave a great little story inside this chapter about how this person was running a successful business, and this lady was about to just completely change, her company, her direction, and this and that. And then she was advised by John and his company to just poll the customers and ask, hey, what do you think of our product? What do you think of our company's direction? This and that, and getting feedback from the people that make that company a thriving business. And found out that, most of the people were very, very excited and happy with the direction of the company. If she would have changed it, would have probably have destroyed her business. A very classic example is Coca-Cola, right? They came out with this new Coke and it just completely bombed. I mean, in terms of what the success of the original Coke. And so now they have classic Coca-Cola, new Coke, and this Coke. But, a lot of times we think, oh, we need to do something different. We need to offer something different. And it's not the case. A lot of times people love that certainty and that consistency in products and service. And so before you start to really change things up, so to speak, really find out what is it your customer is looking for. Are they happy, or are they looking for something more? In fact, in the chapter he has the studies. It says studies show that 80% of company executives believe their company delivers outstanding value and a superior customer experience, but only 8% of their customers agree with them. And that's a challenge with a lot of company executives. And that was one of the things why I always love to do like surveys and ask people's questions and call people and just work with them and find out, hey, what's going on? What can we do differently to make things better? It's when somebody thinks that they know what's going on or the success of what they're doing, that's when they usually get themselves in troubles, because they start to overlook things because they're not paying attention to what really is driving their business. So, true loyalty comes from genuine relationships with customers. This comes from interactions in which the customer feels they matter personally, not financially, to a business. So when somebody matters personally, like when there's a personal thing there, that's when people really feel that they can trust and understand and value that company, because they don't feel like it's just, oh, you're being nice to me because I make you money or I spend money in your business, right? But when you make them feel like they matter personally, and that's just by really engaging with them and having those interactions with people that will create that listenability. I don't know if that's a word. It's probably not. I love doing that, making words up. But, to be able to listen to somebody and really go, okay, yeah, you know what, I hear you. And then making an observation or finding a way to make that person feel like they were heard. That's key. That's going to make a huge difference. And so in the chapter, John gives 3 strategies to build a loyal customer base. And so number 1, get feedback from your frontline team members. So those are the people that are out there that are sponsoring in your business, and get their feedback about what is working and what is not working. Like, what are people saying? If they're out there working the business and sponsoring people, they're coming across issues and challenges and things and whatnot. So ask them about how they would fix the problem if they see that there's a problem, and then see if it's a viable solution that you can probably take to your corporate, or that you could submit something on behalf of your team. Remember, I'm talking to the leaders. I'm not talking to the brand new people that are, don't have anybody to lead, or you are somebody like that because you want to lead. That's great. I'm talking about, working with people that have tens and thousands of people in their organization and really making a difference by getting some information and feedback from people to be able to better their business. Now, number 2 strategy, okay? Talk to your customers. No matter how experienced you are in business, never make assumptions about what your customers think, feel, want, or need. Just ask them. Customers love to give feedback. They love to, especially when they feel like it's something that is a personal matter. Like it's, you're really connecting with them because you really want their personal feedback. So always talk to people, ask them surveys. So many marketers out there, they fail to market to the people that are already their customers. They're always out looking for new customers. And that's the most cost-effective way to build your business, is to work with the people that are happy and that are already customers, because you already have access to them. You don't have to pay to get more access. You can work through people. Like a lot of times, especially network marketing, it's referral. It's working with people that are totally excited and getting referrals or having them recommend something. That's the power of what we're talking about here. That's when we're talking about really creating a customer base that's built on those types of loyalties. Then number 3, conduct quit studies. Okay, talking to the customers that do not buy our product. Do not buy your product is a great way to understand how you stack up against competitors. Even more so are the customers that stop buying your product. Maybe people are willing to try it, but then they felt like it wasn't something that was actually worth the value or worth the money. They were willing to try it because there was a money back guarantee, but yet they decided not to because it ended up costing too much and they didn't think it had that much value. If you don't understand why people quit your product, and if you don't care about it, that's one thing. But if you don't understand why, then you're missing out on something, because it could be just something in the way that you're marketing or something that you're expressing to people that, all it takes is just a little bit of, oh, you know what, this is what it does. And people go, oh, okay, well, now I totally see the value and I'll continue to take it. If people just think it's a supplement because you're selling it and you're wanting them to buy it because you're going to get paid for it, well, they're never going to see the value in that product. You've got to teach them the value. You've got to, I was thinking of a word that Tony Robbins used to always talk about, but it's causing people to have that thought before they even think it. And it's just, you impart that information to them and say, hey, you know what, you're probably going to notice this, you're going to notice this, you're going to notice that. And so you've got to do that with your product, because once you find out why people quit, and then you'll be able to know exactly what you need to do in order to have them not quit, because they're typically quitting for something, either whether it be a lack of money or a lack of value or lack of understanding. And very rarely is it just people just flat out don't like it, but it happens. And so be expecting that as well. So let's get into the take action now part of the chapter, which is great because in every chapter of John's book, you'll notice and you'll be a part of is that, you know what? Everybody needs to take action in that moment. If you don't take action now in the information that you're learning, it's probably not going to stick. So let's take action by, number 1, ask your customers what the real reason is for them doing business with you. What keeps them coming back? Because that will also allow you to really enhance your success in marketing and working with people, because if you understand why people are buying from you, then you'll be able to increase that. Remember what we talked about in some of the other chapters, where it's like focus on the successes, not the failures. Understand why people fail and understand why you have failed, but really start to try and duplicate the successes. And so if you understand why a customer is doing something with you, right, then you'll be able to duplicate that over and over and over again and keep people coming back. Now, number 2, commit to doing a customer survey within the next 6 months. Focus on what drives loyalty and how you rate against the competition. So let's say that you're a networker and you've got customers, right? Well, create a survey and put it out on your Facebook page or on your Twitter page, or email the people that you know and that you've connected with and just say, hey, what do you like most? Like, go online and Google what's the best customer survey on a product, or what's the best customer survey on a supplement, and follow those. And it's called copy marketing. You just take the information that people are already doing and you put it out there and you utilize it for yourself and you make it specific for your product. It's what everybody does. It's what we all do. And then what happens is when you're doing stuff like that, new ideas come to you and you can put those in there. But find out what's causing people to buy and start surveying your customers and let them know that you care. I'm trying out different things all the time, and like today, just before I got on this webinar, I was like putting out this giveaway with Amazon, because you can do that with products now. You just buy the product. So I bought 25 Kindle books, and then I'm just going to give them away to people that follow me on Twitter, because I want to create a following on Twitter and do different things and try different things. And if it works, which I've seen, I was sitting there wondering why my watch is going crazy, but it's like people are starting to follow me. And why not? That's going to engage people. That's going to also pass on value, because what I'm doing is I'm saying, you know what, let's stay connected, but also too, if you're willing to, here, I'm going to give you this, and this is the opportunity for you. Because I want to create value for people to even just click a button and say, I authorize this app to allow myself to follow this person. Like, it's insane, and it doesn't cost very much, but yet it means something a lot to the people that you're giving it to, especially when they read that book or they utilize the information and it changes their lives. They're going to contribute that value to you and what you did and what you were willing to do. Now, Number 3, develop an initiative to listen to customer conversation, whether online or on a call. What are customers saying about your products and services? So find out what people are saying and do what you can do to help them and to satisfy them. Yeah, you may say, oh, my company has customer service. Yeah, but you have an opportunity to really put yourself out there and market yourself as somebody who is willing to address and handle a conversation or a problem with a customer, and people go, well, I want to do business with that person because they're willing to address things. Okay, so find out what you can do to develop that, and then create that for your business and for your team, and teach them how to do it. So that's the end of this chapter, and like we always like to do it, pay it forward by leaving a comment below on what you are most grateful for in your life today and what you learned from this webinar. One of the things I'm grateful for today is the fact that my son is actually getting himself up and walking to school, which is great because it allowed me to sleep in today. And I got 100% sleep quality on my app, so I'm grateful for that. And so write down what you're grateful for and what you've learned from this today. I'm grateful for your leadership. Showing up is the first step, and you've done that. And so go ahead and click on subscribe here at the YouTube channel below, and feel free to share this with your friends, with your team, whatever you want to do, and get the message out there. I appreciate everything that you do, and we will see you next week.